Hello and welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep IAS. Welcome to the big news of the day. The topic for today is the landmark visit of Prime Minister Modi to Jammu and Kashmir, which happens to be his first major visit since the special status of Jammu and Kashmir was revoked under Article 370. But before we begin the discussion, I would like to remind you that the fourth episode of Places in News has been uploaded yesterday, so don't forget to watch the video. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is on his first major visit to Jammu and Kashmir today, since the special status of Jammu and Kashmir was revoked under Article 370, following which the erstwhile state of J&K was split into two new union territories. Last year, he had visited an army camp on the occasion of Diwali to greet the soldiers, but this happens to be his first major visit to Jammu and Kashmir ever since the special status of J&K was revoked under Article 370. During this historic visit, the Prime Minister is going to inaugurate several important development projects and is also going to lay the foundation stone for several upcoming projects. This visit of the Prime Minister to J&K has been planned to coincide with the 24th of April, which marks the National Panchayati Raj Day, that commemorates the constitutionalization of decentralization in India. The historic 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act, which was enacted in 1992, came into force on this day, that is on 24th of April in 1993, and ever since, the day has been marked as the National Panchayati Raj Day. It introduced the three-tier system of Panchayati Raj in the country with constitutional status and provided for decentralized governance through Gram Panchayats, Taluk or Tehsil Panchayats and District Panchayats. So on this historic day, the Prime Minister is visiting Jammu and Kashmir to cement decentralized grassroots governance in J&K by inaugurating and by laying the foundation stone for several important development projects. But first, we need to know a few basic facts about Article 370, which provided for special status to Jammu and Kashmir, which was included under Part 21 of the Constitution as a temporary transitional special provision. This article exempted J&K from the Indian Constitution except for Article 1 and Article 370, and permitted the erstwhile state of J&K to have its own state constitution along with a state flag. It essentially restricted the Parliament's legislative powers with regard to J&K in recognition of the unique circumstances under which J&K became an integral part of India. This led to the introduction of Article 35A in 1954 to protect the cultural and economic rights of the people of Jammu and Kashmir, that granted special privileges to the permanent residents of J&K, whereas these special privileges were denied to non-residents. Under these special provisions, J&K enjoyed few special powers, and as a result, the provisions of the Indian Constitution and laws enacted by the Parliament wouldn't be directly applicable in J&K unless and until approved by the state legislature. This allowed for dual citizenship, a separate flag for J&K, limitations on the applicability of Article 360 of financial emergency, lack of reservation for minorities, and those who were not permanent residents, they couldn't buy land or property in Jammu and Kashmir. Even RTI was not applicable, and the duration of the Legislative Assembly was for 6 years. And if a woman from J&K married outside of the state, she would lose her citizenship of the state, and panchayats did not have full-fledged rights, and even the right to education was not extended into J&K. But however, Article 370 served as a tunnel through which the Indian Constitution and Indian laws could be extended and applied in J&K as well. Over the years, through presidential orders, most provisions of the Constitution and most aspects of Indian law had been extended to J&K, apart from a few exceptions as mentioned. But in August 2019, the Modi government revoked the special status of Jammu and Kashmir through a new presidential order, thus nullifying the effect of Article 370 and Article 35A. So as a result, J&K has no special status or special powers, and the dual citizenship has been done away for single citizenship, along with the abolition of the state flag. Article 360, that is financial emergency, can now be extended, and minorities have been extended reservation as well. Non-residents, those who are not permanent residents, can now purchase land and property and invest in J&K. And more importantly, RTI and RTE have been made applicable in Jammu and Kashmir. The assembly duration for the new union territory has been brought in line with other legislatures, and women from J&K who marry outside the state will retain their rights, and more importantly, panchayats have been given the same status and rights as in other states. This, according to the Government of India, has provided for the full integration of J&K into the Indian Union and enables the centre to play a greater role in promoting growth and development in Jammu and Kashmir. Following the revocation of this special status, the erstwhile state of J&K was reorganized as well by introducing and enacting the J&K Reorganization Act of 2019. As a result, Jammu and Kashmir was bifurcated into two parts, and the state of J&K was broken down into the union territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, which you can see in the map over here. But the union territory of J&K has been provided with a legislature similar to Delhi and Puducherry, whereas Ladakh has been placed under the direct administration of the centre, comparable to other union territories such as Lakshadweep, Andaman Nicobar Islands, etc. So these changes have altered the political and economic landscape of Jammu and Kashmir and also has implications for India's disputes with Pakistan and China. It is in this context that the Prime Minister's visit acquires a lot of significance because this happens to be Prime Minister Modi's first major visit to Jammu and Kashmir after the special status of J&K was revoked under Article 370. According to the Prime Minister's office, these constitutional reforms introduced in August 2019 has paved the way for development and better governance. And to highlight the wide-ranging reforms being introduced, the Prime Minister is visiting J&K today to inaugurate several important development projects and lay the foundation stone for several ambitious proposed projects. On the occasion of National Panchayati Raj Divas, the Prime Minister is going to visit the Palli Panchayat of Samba district in Jammu, where he will address all the Gram Sabhas in the country and will inaugurate and announce projects to the tune of 20,000 crore rupees for Jammu and Kashmir. The most important project that will be inaugurated is the strategic Banihal-Qazigund road tunnel, which will reduce the distance between Jammu and Kashmir and reduces the travel time by 1.5 hours, thereby bringing the regions closer and establishes all-weather connectivity through these twin tube tunnels. This will serve a crucial economic purpose to promote growth and development in Jammu and Kashmir and will also serve a strategic purpose which will enable all year and all weather troop deployment and troop movement in the sensitive border areas. Along with this, the Prime Minister is going to launch Amrit Sarovar initiative, which is aimed at developing and rejuvenating 75 water bodies in each district of the country as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebrations. The Prime Minister is also going to lay the foundation stone for three important highway projects that will connect the strategic NH44 highway in J&K with Delhi-Amritsar-Katra Expressway. He will also lay the foundation stone for two important hydropower projects on the Chenab River, and this includes the Ratle hydropower plant and Kwar hydropower plant that you can see over here, which will help in exploiting the hydropower potential of the Chenab and thus provide electricity to Jammu and Kashmir. At Palli Village Panchayat, the Prime Minister is going to inaugurate a 500 kilowatt solar power plant, which will make the village panchayat the first in the country to become carbon neutral. Along with this, to increase access to medicines in J&K, 100 Janaushadhi Kendras will be dedicated by the PM, and he will also hand over Swamitva cards to the beneficiaries of the scheme, which is a new initiative of the Ministry of Panchayati Raj for survey of villages and mapping with improvised technology. Under this initiative, rural people will be provided with the right to document for their residential properties so that they can use it for economic purposes. Under this initiative, by using drone technology, rural properties will be mapped out and property rights will be guaranteed to the owners through their documents so that they can put their residential properties to economic use. So in short, it is the inauguration of so many key projects which makes the Prime Minister visit an important visit to Jammu and Kashmir. So with this, let's conclude our today's discussion. Thanks for watching.